Hello and welcome. This is Marisol. Today I'm sharing something a little different. I'm sharing a process video for a weekly memory planner spread. I'm trying this new format and I'm loving it a lot. I decided that I wanted to share this process video with you guys. I don't know if I will be sharing every week, but for this one, I wanted to share it with you guys, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. I was first interested in weekly memory planning last year. I even went out and bought one of those Happy Planner memory planners, but I returned it because it was too restricting. It had preset colors and preset prompts, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to use the disc-bound system either. And I just kind of returned it and didn't think about it again until I saw some ladies on Instagram back in November start sharing some of their weekly memory planners, and they were using a digital template and using their stash. And I thought, oh, I could really get into this because one of my goals for 2020 is to use my stash and use more of my card making supplies in my scrapbooking. I purchased this digital template from Shannon Pages, and I will leave her link in the description box below. The days of the week are digital stamps from Ellie Edwards. You can see right here that I am using a alphabet stamp from Lawn Fawn to number the days of the week. I'm using this format to document the Everyday Selfie Love Challenge created by Tracy Reed, and I will leave her linked below as well. She also has a digital weekly memory planning template, and I purchased that one as well, but this week I'm using Shannon's. I'm using this format to document my one little word, which is gratitude. I'm using the left box there to document my thoughts and document the prompts from the one little word class by Ellie Edwards. And if you're interested in that, I will link it in the description box below as well. For the pictures, which you're going to see a little bit later, I am using the Epson Creative app on my phone, which is the app for the Epson PictureMate 400. But before I talk a little bit more about that, let me go back to talk about what I'm doing here right now. I'm stamping, and I learned that stamping first is the way to go, because if I left the stamping for later, after adding in pictures and cards and pattern papers and embellishments, it would be much harder to correct any mistakes. I learned that the hard way. If I stamp first and I make a mistake, I can just toss the page and easily print out another one with no problem. But if I make a mistake after I've added all those other things, then I have to remove those and risk ruining any embellishments or pictures or cards that I have already added. I'm using the Ellie Edwards ink called Pendleton for the numbers. All right, let's go back to talking about the pictures. The boxes in these templates are not an exact size. They're not like 2x3 or 3x4. They're a little bit off in that sense. And I had to figure out a way to easily print pictures so that they could look presentable in the box. I discovered that if I use the Epson Creative app and use the collage that has 4 pictures in portrait with a white border, and I cut off the white border, I get a picture that fits nicely in these boxes. I did purchase the Happy Planner pink box punch as well as the blue box punch, and they fit nicely in these boxes as well, with a little bit of a border if you use the blue one with the Shannon's template. I didn't use the punch for this week though, because I ended up using the Celebrate Story Kit by Ali Edwards and just trimmed down some cards. Actually, I only used 4x6 cards this week. Right now I'm stamping week 2 along the side there, and I'm going backwards so that I have enough space for my letters. What else do I want to say about this? I don't know, I'm having lots of fun. This is week number 2, but I already did week 1, week 3, and week 4. I haven't decided how I'm going to store these pages yet. I'm pretty sure I don't want to use the disc system because I think the pages will end up sticking together, and that would mean that I would have to glue the pages back to back, and I don't want to have to go through that trouble. So I think, well, I know I'm going to use the 8.5 by 11 page protectors, but I don't know if I'm going to use a post bound album or a 3-ring binder album. I haven't invested in the album yet because, quite honestly, I feel like I'm still in a trial phase with this type of documenting. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it or not. I'm loving it so far, but let's see how it works long term. I am not discontinuing my monthly Project Life pages in my 9x12 album. I am going to continue with those. I figure with this weekly planning, this format, I can just kind of get a glimpse of what we did during the week, and I'm going to leave the longer stories or the more in-depth stories for my Project Life album. And I think this helps me use my stash. So far, in the weeks that I've created, I've used so much of my stuff, and I'm loving it. Sorry, my head keeps getting in the way, but I just want to make sure that that stamping is as straight as possible. I'll eventually speed you guys up, but I wanted to keep this at a slower pace because I felt like I had a lot to say, and giving you guys insight is as to why I chose this format and why I'm sharing it with you. I think I'm done with the stamping right now, and then I'm moving on to the top left corner, and I'm going to stamp out January memories and then use a banner that says Celebrating Joys. That banner, I used a die cut for it. It came in the Celebrate kit, and it was really long and it had rounded corners, but I made it work for me by using a banner die. That stamp is from the January Stories by the Month kit by Ali Edwards. And what's cool is that the word memories matches the font on the days of the week because it's by the same artist. See that tray over to the right? That is a bathroom tray from Target, and it was recommended by Retro Hip Mama. And they're so cool because they're shallow and they stack and they take up way less space on my desk because they do stack. They were $1, you guys. I bought 5, I think. Yeah, I bought 5 of them along with a couple other different sizes for $1. And what's great is that they're really sturdy. They're not like Dollar Tree, dollar store containers that are very flimsy plastic. These ones are sturdy. Right now I'm stamping the word note to self, and that is from a very old one little word stamp set, and I'm writing out a quote that says gratitude turns what you have into enough, and I'm using a gold pen for that. My plan is to use that left box throughout the year to document something regarding my word, which is gratitude, which I think I'll be interchanging it with the word grateful. Before I started filming, I journaled and trimmed down any of the cards, and I arranged the pictures where I wanted them, then took a picture on my phone, and I'm using my phone as a reference to finish off the layout. Those two cards were sized 4x6, and I trimmed them down, one to fit across 2 boxes, the other to fit across 3 boxes. And I had to adjust it a little bit because, like I said, these boxes are not an exact size. I think like 1.81 and 2.34 or something like that. And that's kind of hard to measure and trim out. If you use this template digitally, completely digitally or partly digitally, where you are using a digital kit, it's going to be really easy to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be really easy to measure and insert your cards or pictures into the boxes, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to print and use physical products on this digital template and use my stash. And besides, that Photoshop drives me nuts sometimes. It doesn't always work the way I want it to, and I don't want to waste my time. I just want to get my project done and have my stories told, and I figured this is the best way to do it. Just print out the template, do a little bit of digital stamping, which is what I did this week with the days of the week, and then do the rest physically. I was trying to staple that star, but my stapler didn't reach far enough, so I'm using this vellum tape roller, which, I don't know, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it sucks. This time it worked great. I used 6 pictures. 2 of them are from the same day, and another 2 from the same day. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make is I am not using this template so rigidly. I'm being flexible with it. For example, those 2 pictures I just adhered to the page are from the same day, and they're actually from Friday, but I put them, it looks like I put them on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not using the rows for my documenting. I'm just using it as a guide and being flexible with how I'm adding stuff. Right now I'm adding the plastic stars to those white areas and using the vellum tape that I have. The vellum tape is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. This time it worked really nicely. This kit was awesome. It matched my pictures so nicely. My niece's dress is green, and the kit had a lot of green in it. The gold foil and the yellows also went well with my pictures. I really enjoyed working with this kit, and yeah, I kept things relatively flat for this layout. I'm going to try and do that for most of the layouts, but sometimes the embellishments are just too pretty and they're bulky, and I'm going to add them anyway. This week everything was pretty flat, which was good. I did thin down the chipboard pieces that I used, which weren't very many at all. Later I add a chipboard tag to the right bottom in that cluster of hearts, or rather stars. This star says cheers, and I'm just adding it there to that picture of my husband and I. I feel like this spread is really balanced, and I love the way that it came out. This is that tag I was talking about. It was a chipboard piece. I thinned it out. It says celebrate and has the colors in it as well as the word celebrate. I said that already, didn't I? Let's see, what else do I have going on here? I think I'm going to start adding a couple of word phrases. I add one that says shared joys, double joy, and then another one that says happiness. This is another nice embellishment that is flat. After I add those word strips, I don't think I add anything else. This here is a chipboard piece that says this in gold foil, and I add it to the two pictures of my son's birthday. It was his 21st birthday, and he wasn't feeling well, but he was such a good sport that night. So just another red piece there, I guess. Thanks for stopping by today. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. And let me know what you think about this new format that I'm using. Are you going to try something new this year? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Stay tuned for some pictures at the end of the video.